What's up, my set souls? It's your girl Evie coming back to you again. Welcome to the channel. If you don't know by now, the name of this channel is Because Evie Said So. And if you haven't guessed, guess what? I'm Evie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for coming out today. We're going to be talking about all things Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2. Okay, Episode 2. So we're going to find ourselves right back where we were before, just continuing a little bit forward with Mando and the child and what's going on their journey. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and give the Lord some blessings for this food. But before we do that, let me tell you what we're having. We are having fried crab and fried lobster tail, okay? We have some Alfredo noodles. Let me see if I can bring it to you. Alfredo noodles with that big lobster claw in there. Got some fried mussels, got our lemons on deck, and we getting ready to get it in, okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and bless our food. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. Thanks for everybody that came out today. Please bless them and keep them safe. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. So, what's up, y'all? What's up? How y'all been doing? How y'all been doing? Yep, it's been, a couple of days since I came before you before. It's been a week since The Mandalorian aired for Season 2. So hyped, so excited, so glad it's back. Star Wars is my thing, y'all. I hope it's y'all's thing. And guess what? We have a special guest again today. We have the child. Yes, we have the child again. He's back with us today. He's just going to guest star right now, and then we're going to put him down because we need to get into this food. So thank y'all for looking at the child. We're going to sit him down. Happens to belong to my daughter, but that's okay. But anyway, we find Mondo this time a little bit after where we left him. He has completed his mission with the guy that we thought was the Mandalorian, the Marshal, okay? And he has got the armor back, the Mandalorian armor for him. And now we find him heading through the desert on the speeder that he borrowed from Pelimoto. So, look at that, y'all. Alfredo. Oh, my God. So anyway, we find him speeding through the desert. Now, as he's speeding through the desert, we see him cut it up. We see him get into it, and now he's really opened it up. So the child, we don't really know if he's with him or not, but we assume that he is because wherever he goes, he said he takes the child. So anyway, he's speeding, and we see these like bandits or whatever, we think maybe some bounty hunters that are in the desert, and they're trying to put this rope right across the place where Mondo is about to come through this rock canyon. And we pretty much can see what's probably about to happen. They're probably trying to trap Mondo and get the kid. And that's exactly what happens. Not only do they put this rope up, Mondo goes right through it. He gets in this terrible crash. The bike falls completely apart. All the stuff falls off of the bike. But he seems to get his composure together because he uses his jetpack in order to fly up in the air just a little bit and then hover back down. Now, in the meantime, these guys are like, get the child. So now they're into it with Mondo. And you know, Mondo do what he do. Okay, he's not going to let them take the child, so he fights. I have never had fried crab or fried lobster, but this is all right. To me, it just tastes like fried fish. A little bit like crab. Fried crab. Anyway, so you know Mondo ain't gonna let nobody get the baby. The child. So he fights. He wins, of course. But the little Jawa that happens to be with the bandits gets the baby by the neck and has a knife to his neck. Okay? So now Mondo is quite worried. He's like, look, dude, there's no way you can hide if you hurt him. Put the baby down. There's a lot of valuable stuff in this wreckage. Why don't you go ahead and get you some and get the heck on, okay? This is what he's trying to tell him. So the Jawa reluctantly agrees that he's going to take some of the prize the wreckage. Well, what's in the wreckage that he wants? He wants a jetpack. Mondo agrees without hesitation to go ahead and give him the jetpack, y'all. So he gives it to him. He trades him for the baby. He asks the baby, "Are you okay?" Baby's looking up at him like, "Yeah." Like he's a little scared, but he good. The guy takes off with the jetpack. The Jawa. I thought he was going to get away with it, y'all. But what does Mondo do? Of course, he's Mondo. Jajarin Jin Jajarin. He puts something on his, like he has a watch on or something to that degree. He presses a button on that. The jetpack goes up in the air. So does the Jawa. The Jawa comes crashing back down to the earth, presumably dead. And then not only that, but the child looks up at him like, "Really?" And Mondo's like, "What did you think was going to happen?" So then the jetpack, y'all, flies back to Mondo. So obviously he's got some kind of thief protocol on the jetpack so he don't have to go through stuff like this. I don't know why I thought it was going to be any different. So anyway, now he has no bike, y'all. So how's he going to get where he's going? Well, of course, in Mondo style, we see him marching through the desert with all his possessions on his back and the child. He finally comes to the settlement. I think it's Mos Helgo or Mos Eisley. Mos Eisley. And he goes into the bar. And who does he run into? Pelimoto, the girl from the garage, right? Now, she's not in the garage this time. She's in there playing a game. I think it's a friendly game of sabacc. I mean, we know that from Star Trek Rebels, right? Star Wars Rebels. Anyway, this is so good. So, she convinces Mondo through some conversation that the ant guy that she's playing currently has some information about Mandalorians. And of course, that's what Mondo wants because he needs to get to the covert so he can get some information so he can get the child where he needs to get him. Because he swore that he would. So anyway, she says, well, the dude says if you cover his pot in this game, he'll give you some information. So he covers it, about 500 in. Now, to his surprise, the dude doesn't win. Pelimoto does. So I guess she set him up like that so he could cover her pot instead of his pot. Because my assumption is he don't really have the information. She does. But she was trying to set Mondo up to go ahead and do that because, you know, they're friends. So she's telling him, stop belly aching, stop whining, you're rust. Don't start crying about it. The person's going to be at the hangar to give you the information. I hope you got some of that kraut dragon meat because I don't like maggots and I want meat. So now we see them back at her place. It's nighttime. They're roasting the meat. The droids are. She's telling them don't overcook it because she don't want it overcooked. And we see Mondo and the child. The child is looking at the meat like, I'm kind of hungry, but I don't think this is my thing. So anyway, Mondo's like, so where's, what's the passenger? Where is the passenger? She's like, look, it's going to be easy. He's like, okay, that's good. It's going to be easy. He's like, but it has a little tick, a little tick to it. And he's like, what? What's going on? She's like, look, the passenger wants, the person that has the information wants to be transported with you to this particular destination in the trash system. So he's like, look, I'm not a taxi. And she's like, look, I know, I understand, but this is the bargain. So he's like, okay, whatever. So then she's like, but, you can't travel sublight. I mean, you can't travel really, really fast. You got to go sublight. And he's like, sublight? So basically, sublight to him is like driving slow. Because he's like, look, me driving fast is the only thing that has kept us protected up to this time. Oh my God. This breading is so good. It's delicious, y'all. I would definitely recommend doing this. I use some cornmeal, an egg, some seasonings, whatever seasonings you want to put in it, some Old Bay, some garlic powder, etc. And I mixed the egg in there, put a little water, made it a wet batter. I battered all of this stuff with flour first, put it in the wet batter, and then put it in a dry batter of breadcrumbs. Once I did that, I deep fried it. And it is delicious. Oh my God. But anyway, get back to what I was saying. So, he finds out through Pelimoto that it's a frog lady that actually wants transport through him. And not only does she want transport, but the reason why she wants transport is because her spawn or her eggs need to be transported, and they can't be transported very, very fast through the galaxy or they'll die. So that's why he has to do sublight. So he reluctantly agrees because according to Pelimoto and her translating of the frog language that the lady is speaking that Mondo does not know or understand, her husband has seen the Mandalorians on the trash system, and that's good enough for him. So now we see them get in space, and he tells her, look, it's going to be a long journey. Let's be careful because there are bandits out here. There are people out here that want your craft or they want your money. So we're going to have to watch it. But I'm tired. Let's go ahead and get some sleep. So he gets ready to retire just to his chambers. And he's looking for the kid. The kid's usually in the chambers. The kid's not in the chambers. The kid has been eyeballing them eggs of hers since she got on board, okay? He's been trying to figure out how to get them eggs. Now, where does it take us next? To him eating some of her eggs. Yeah, he eating some of the people he had to transport. And the Mandalorian's like, no, that's not food. Don't do that. And the baby's like, whoop. And it's so doggone cute because you know him. He eats anything that ain't locked down. How he got into this locked container with these eggs surprises me, but not really because he's so doggone cute and smart. So now we see him say, okay, it's nap time. So he takes him to lay down. All of a sudden, a little bit later, it cuts into this alarm going off. So now there's this huge alarm going off. It's so loud. And I'm thinking, are they crashing? What the heck's going on? So he hurries up, got out of his bedroom. He's back up there. And the frog lady has woke up. She panicking. What it is that there are some X-Wing drivers, X-Wing pilots that are in space. And I guess they're on patrol for bad guys. And so they ask Mondo, they say, hey, basically, we've been looking for bad guys, so we need you to identify yourself. We see that your monitor is not on. And he says, well, I don't have to have a monitor on because basically I had all this stuff before you made these rules. And they're like, no, according to the new rules, you need to have your monitor on at all times. So we need you to go ahead and send us a ping to let us know basically who you are. So he's like, well, it's not working. And they're like, well, since it's not working, we can't identify that you're not Imperial. You're going to have to follow us to Adelphi. So he's like, wait a minute. Okay, it's working. So he sends them a ping. So then they like, well, were you in Boston 5? And he was like, He didn't say anything. So then the two pilots, they say, can you turn to channel 2? As in they're talking to each other. Basically, they want to talk about something that's secret. So after that, he sees that they're their planes are starting to rise up like they're in flight mode, like they might potentially getting ready to make him land. So he takes off, and he speeds up, and he takes off through space. He goes to this planet. I don't even think he knows where he's going, but he's giving them a run for their money. They like, we got a runner. So now the X-Wing pilots are chasing him because now they're for sure about to arrest him. So, as we know what Mondo does, he can really drive. So he's driving as fast as he possibly can, ducks and dodges these people, and then the frog lady is now tripping, like she's screaming because they're going upside down, they're taking deep dives, her stomach is falling out at this point because she's like, oh my God, what are we doing? But she can't communicate that because He don't speak frogs. So anyway, he ducking and dodging. He finally dodges into this cavern. When he dodges into this cavern, he kind of crash lands a little bit. It's an ice cavern. So he gets in the crook of it, sits his plane down. Sorry, y'all. It's coming out of my mouth. A little bit of drink. His ship is not really built for all of this, but he's doing it anyway. So his thing is, I'm trying to get away. I'm Mondo. I know I'm probably wanted for some things that I've done. Plus, I get this passenger. I'm going to go ahead. I got stuff to do with the child. I don't want to be caught. So when he lands in this ice cavern, he thinks it's all good. He's like, woo. Basically, I outran them. And he sees them blast right by him. So anyway, when he sits there, he tries to unbelt and go check on the child. The ship that he's in starts sinking. Okay, at first I thought it was ice water that they were sinking through. No, he sinks through the floor of the cavern. So now, the ship has now crashed through the ground, through the ice, and now they're about 200 to 500 feet down into a brand new ice cavern. Not only did they crash, but it damaged the ship so much that he's got this great big hole in the hull of the ship. So now the integrity of the ship has been damaged, and it might be a possibility they can't even get out of there, or he might not be able to fix it. So he tells the frog lady, look, we're going to have to camp here for the night. Let me go get some blankets and stuff for you because it's going to be a long night. I'm assuming it's going to get really cold in here. So he goes to get the blankets, and he tells her, I'm looking for your eggs. Well, we all know he's looking for the child, okay, because he loves the child. So he can't find the child at first. So he starts looking through all the wreckage, and lo and behold, there's the child. What's the child doing, y'all? Eating more eggs that he told him not to eat. So he's eating her spawn once again, putting them in his mouth like gulp, like a big old gumball. And he was like, no, I told you, don't eat that. And then the cutest part is he says, how many did you eat? And the child looks up at him like, I don't know. So now he's got the child. He's got her eggs. He tells her, get comfortable. We ain't going nowhere till the morning. We'll figure it out. Now, she's nervous. These are her babies at this point. I don't even know if she's observed that the child has been eating her kids or not, but she definitely knows that she needs to get where she's supposed to get because her husband is on this other planet trying to get everything ready for her and her kids to come back so they can live. So anyway, she tells Mondo after she hooks up her voice and this droid into a droid's voice that she bypasses into the computer so it can translate for her what she's trying to say to the Mandalorian. Now, chick got a little attitude problem because she mad. She like, look, didn't you tell me you were going to take me where I want to go? And he was like, man, the deal is over. We crashed. And she's like, well, I thought Mandalorians keep their word. I thought it was part of the code. Or was that just a story? Okay. He's like, oh, my God, this dang on code. Okay. So he gets up. He gets his tools. He goes outside. It's freezing outside. He goes outside anyway to try to see what he can do in order to fix the ship. Now, a few moments later, here comes the child. The child comes outside. And he's like, oh, good. Come on over here so you can help me. You can be of some assistance and help me fix this ship. And the child stands there like, no. So he's like, didn't I tell you to come over here? So now the child is walking off. And y'all know as parents, we like, did they just walk off while I was talking? Okay? Yeah, because I said so. Get back over here. Okay? Because Evie said so. Shameless plug to myself, but that's okay because y'all know what I meant. Anyway, he tells the child to get over here. The child ain't having it. He's walking off. So he decides to get up to see why the child is walking off and not listening to him. Well, lo and behold, the child explains to him. He said the child is trying to tell him the frog lady has left. She has left the building. Okay, like Elvis. She left the building. Okay, now she has walked into the cavern, and he could see that with her footprints in the ground in the snow, because he uses that vision thing on his helmet to see her heat signature, and he sees that she's walked into this cavern. So he starts following her with the child, okay? So now he's, basically trying to go get her, because instead of her staying where she's supposed to be, okay, she all up someplace else, okay? He can't protect her out there, but she don't know that, I guess. So he tracks her down, finds out that she's in this pool. It's like a warm pool, like a spa almost for her. So she naked, she in the pool, she's a frog lady. She didn't put her spawn, her little babies into the pool to keep them warm. And while she's getting her bath, the baby sees the eggs, and Mondo is panicking at this time because Mondo's like, look, no. You can't stay out here. I can't protect you out here. I need to get you back to the ship. So now they gathering up the eggs while the baby is walking off again. Kids, they always got to explore. Well, anyway, he sees these things like eggs, taller, bigger eggs in the distance of the cavern. Now, he's like, oh my gosh, yes. So he walks up to one of them, he cracks it open. It's a spider, like a baby spider that hasn't hatched yet. He eats it. Ugh. That part was gross. But he eats it because he's hungry. And like I said, he eat anything, y'all. He don't care. So now we see the other eggs that are surrounding him start to shake. Now they're coming alive. They're all hatching at the same time. So the next cut we see is his little legs moving so fast, getting out of there. He's whining, he's crying, and Mando hears him. Then he sees him running. Not only does he see him running, but he sees these spiders chasing him. So not only did he eat one of the spiders, he woke up the whole family of baby spiders. So now he running, trying to get the heck out of Dodge. Mando is trying to tell her to get it together. He's gathering up the eggs. He done got them back into the container and is getting ready to run, basically, because I don't think he said he thinks he can defeat all of these at the same time. So we see the cut to her, the frog lady, stick out her tongue so far, grab her clothes with her tongue, basically, and get dressed quickly. Now, they are running for their life. They got about 1,000 spiders chasing them. Then they hear something in the distance. This big, huge noise, like a monster. All of a sudden, you see Mama Spider, which is freaking huge, humongous. Why does he run into all this humongous stuff? Didn't he just kill the Kraut Dragon? Well, this is the Kraut Dragon baby sister, okay? Except it's a spider. This thing is humongous, okay? So now he's trying to kill them because they didn't woke up his babies and ate one of her babies. So they are running even faster. Margot tries shooting them. He tries barbecuing them with his flamethrower. That's not working. They still being chased. He put some bombs out. The bombs kind of knock out the giant spider, the mama, and that's good because it gives them time in order to get back to the ship. Once they get back to the ship, like I told you, it's a big hole in the side. The integrity is ruined. They can't protect themselves because these things can get in. So they just make it in time to get back into the ship. Now, Mondo's the last one to get in because he's basically trying to shoot these things. He gets webbed and his arm gets stuck to the hull of the ship. So basically I thought, oh my God, they got him. But he gets his arm loose and he crushes the other spider, one of the spiders that tries to get on his face with his hand. Gets inside, climbs upstairs. The spiders are right on him, y'all, okay? First of all, I don't do spiders, okay? Now, I said thousands of spiders. Can you imagine thousands of spiders about the size of a dog chasing you? Okay? No. No. Okay, so now they're inside of the ship. Now he has to get up into the cockpit because that's the only place that has a door. So these spiders are on them, man. Not only do they get into the cockpit, a couple of them get into the cockpit while he's trying to barbecue them to keep him out of the cockpit so he can close the cockpit door so it can be secure and they can be safe. So we see a couple of the spiders get to the child. They actually are on top of his head, trying to essentially eat him, or attack him. And then we see the frog lady. She shoots the spider off his head. So not only is this frog lady with an attitude, this frog lady about that life, okay? She got a pistola up in her stuff. So now she done shot the spiders off the child. The child looking like, you almost got me on my head. But he grateful though. But she looking like, okay, close the door. So Mondo finally gets the door closed after I said he barbecued these spiders. And they think they finna get out of here. So he's like, look, it's finna be a rough ride. I'm finna start this engine. We out. Okay? So he starts the engine. And you think that they're out because the ship starts lifting up. They're closed up in the cockpit. They're not exposed to the elements anymore. All these little spiders are crawling onto the ship, trying to get them. The big spider now has woke up. Mama has woke up. She crashes down on the ship, bringing it right back down to the bottom so they can't get out. Because now the spider is sitting on the freaking ship. They think they're doomed. They're about to die. And all of a sudden, we see pew, 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 all this red light and all these people shooting. And you thinking, what's going on? I'm thinking maybe it's the Mandalorians. Maybe he finally found the Mandalorians and they coming to his rescue, right? That's what I'm thinking. But Mando's like, he thinking what's going on too. So now he opens the cockpit door and he goes out to see what's up. When he gets outside, he too has to shoot some of the spiders in order to get outside. But when he gets outside, who does he see? The two X-Wing drivers, the two pilots that's been chasing him this whole time. They have landed both their planes and they are shooting at the spider. They kill the mama spider. They kill all the baby spiders. And finally, he can come out without no problem. Then they start conversating. They like, look, dude, aren't you the one that set prisoner X51 something free? And he's like, am I under arrest? And they like, you should be. But basically, since he did a solid to them before by taking care of one of their commanders, that they didn't even know that he was going to do that, but they found out that he did that, they let him slide. They don't arrest him. But Mondo's still like, okay, but if I'm not under arrest, can y'all please help me fix my ship so that I can get up out of here? And they like, look, man, let me tell you something. Get your transponder fixed before the next time we see this ship, we basically vaporize this piece of garbage. So he's like, okay, I guess they're not going to help me. So then they take off. I really thought, I was like, okay, well, that's some shade they throwing. They, glad that he helped out, but they also recognize that he's a criminal. So basically, they giving him a pass by not arresting him. So we see Mondo go back inside. He tells the frog lady and the child, look, we're going to have to be in the cockpit. Everything else is busted. Got to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. It's going to be a long ride. Let's get in here. Get it closed. Let's get out of here. So we see him lift off. He keeps bumping into things. Because like I told you, the integrity of this ship is pretty much gone. How it even starts is beyond me. But it does. And lucky for them, they get out of this ice cavern. They get back out to space. We can see that the side of his engine, one of his engines is out. And he's basically using one engine to fly. The other one is basically smoking. And we see him start to head toward this planet. So that's how it cuts. We see the last cut of her, the frog lady, looking satisfied. A little scared and tense, but satisfied, holding her eggs. And we see a child in his lap, Mondo's lap, while he's flying. The child looks back at the eggs like this. Like, The frog lady looks like this. You're not going to get these. The child looks like this. But I already got one. And pops it in his mouth. So doggone cute. Oh my God. The child was in this episode, y'all. I didn't think he was going to be focused on in this episode, but we get to see the child again. And that's one wonderful because I